This game preview is brought to you by Manscaped's Premium Ultra Soft Boxer Briefs 2.0, complete with the all-new jewel pouch to protect your stones. Use the promo code SACCITY for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Manscaped, the perfect tools to protect your jewels.
It's the San Francisco 49ers at 1-1 traveling to Denver to take on the 1-1 Broncos. The Niners are actually 1.5-point favorites in this game with an over-under of 45. A new quarterback at the helm for San Francisco in Jimmy G, a new but familiar face quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo leading the way for the Niners, going up against the Russell Wilson-led Broncos team that has underperformed, that has not been as amazing as people have thought they would have been, not to discredit them completely. But for the Niners, losing Trey Lance to a very season-ending ankle injury, Jimmy Garoppolo steps in and actually improved their Super Bowl odds, going from 20-1 to 25-1. I think it's obvious that to say it's
that's not improving. What are you talking?
Flip flop, 25-1 to 25.
Oh, I was like, what?
Sorry, my B. But yeah, no. So the Super Bowl odds for the Niners improve with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, which is almost expected because it's like, okay, a rookie quarterback versus someone who we've seen there, been there, done that with Jimmy Garoppolo. What to you are the new expectations for the San Francisco 49ers this season?
You know, as crazy as this sound, if I'm a team, if I'm the 49ers, my expectation is the Super Bowl. This is arguably the same team they had last year, but with a few additions, obviously Charvarius Ward in the secondary, a few people lost in that secondary as well. But for the most part, it's the same team. And when you're one step away, and I think this is what happens when you go to a rookie or a younger quarterback. I think with Trey Lance, they had some wiggle room. Like if they didn't succeed, or it was like, okay, we got a new quarterback, we're building. With Jimmy Garoppolo, you're like, well, we've seen this before. There is only one thing, and that's the next step is the Super Bowl. So if they don't get to the Super Bowl, it's going to be a disappointment for most of that locker room. And I'm sure Kyle Shanahan and those players feel the same way. So this, I think, adds pressure to what the 49ers are supposed to be. But I also think they're built to make a run because of the style of football that they play. Jimmy Garoppolo he's a serviceable, adequate quarterback. And I have never wavered from that. It's not that he's garbage. It's not that he can't win games. It's that he's not going to win you championships by himself. Like everything has to be perfect around him. And he can't be the one that has to make the throw, that has to go out and actually win the game. And when it comes down to that, he falls short, which is fine. You can be successful in the NFL with that, but everything else has to be perfect. And I don't know that everything else around the 49ers team is perfect right now. The running game is still a question mark, especially if it has to be Deebo Samuel, because now you take a weapon away. George Kittle's health has to be a concern. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into competing all season long. But I do think that the 49ers are in a good position to make another playoff run.
Man, I saw George Kittle on Monday Night Raw this past week buzzing. This man better get back on the field. He looked too good on Monday Night Raw to be missing games, okay? Get your ass back on the field, George Kittle. I'm just kidding. I know that's just a ridiculous take, but I just wanted to say it anyways. Shout out Joey B in the chat. He's bringing this up. Maybe get your thoughts on this. Troubles here in Denver already being rumored between Hackett and Wilson. Nathaniel Hackett losing the locker room already.
Stop.
Okay.
I don't care what those beat reporters. This is what beat reporters do to create headlines and controversy. I don't want to hear about no head coach losing the locker room after 2 weeks of the regular season when they didn't play the starters in preseason. His clock management has been poor. He will get better. If you lost your locker room in 2 weeks, you were never the right guy for the position. You were never the guy they should have hired. And to me, that's a front office issue, not a Nathaniel Hackett issue.
I don't think Nathaniel Hackett's the right guy anyways, but I digress.
But you don't know. You've never seen him as a head coach.
You're correct.
Like all you have is an experience of him as some coordinator.
He could prove me wrong. And I'm not saying he can't. But for the Broncos, they actually have it's a tale of two different sides here. On offense, they have the worst red zone offense with 6 trips, 0 touchdowns. But on defense, they have the best red zone defense with 0 touchdowns on 3 trips. So both sides doing polar opposite things here. How do the Broncos, you don't think the Broncos offense is off track though, right? That's where you're at with the Broncos. Like I could ask the question, how do the Broncos offense get back on track? And you could say nothing because they're not off track.
They were off track last week. They did not play well against Houston. That's a thing. Russell Wilson didn't play well against Houston. None of their offense played well against Houston, except for Cortland Sutton. But I watched game 1 and against Seattle, their offense looked fine to me. They just didn't convert in the red zone. You add those touchdowns instead, you got 28, 30 points. Everybody's like, yep, this is the Denver we expected to see. I have 100% faith that the Denver Broncos offense will be better. I don't know what else to say. I have 100% faith that they will be better. Russell Wilson's going to do Russell Wilson. He will be fine. They did not play in preseason. This is a brand new franchise quarterback with new weapons, a new scheme, a new coach. It does take time, and they do have to get used to each other. And this is why I was so pissed off at Nathaniel Hackett, because you are a new coach and you come into a new situation with a new quarterback and new weapons, and you didn't play in preseason. It's why I brought it up every single week throughout the preseason. They should have been playing. Matter of fact, they should have been playing a lot more than most teams so that they can be ready for the start of the season. So I think they continue to get better. They're at home. Here, be better. That's all I can say. I believe they're going to be better.
That's fair. You bring up like the whole picking and choosing a narrative, and I guess it's fair to say that if I have faith in the Indianapolis Colts to figure it out, why do I not have faith in the Denver Broncos to figure it out with all the new pieces that they have? It's a fair point. I know I just took it right from you, but I'm worried about the Broncos because I'm not. You know how I feel about Nathaniel Hackett, but it's not to say that they can't get the job done. I've got San Francisco in this game 24-21, San Francisco.
Yeah, I have Denver at home. I think their defense is really, really good, and I think Russell Wilson is a better quarterback. I will take Denver in this one. I will take them 23-20. And Joey B., Sac State at Colorado State. Sac State, stand up. That's my alma mater. Alma mater. Well, funny story. Alma mater is I went for a semester, got put on academic probation, and then dropped out. So if you want to call that if you call that my alma mater, I can have that. Sac State, stand up. They're about to put the whooping on Colorado State. Probably not.
Oh, there you go. There you go. 49ers 27-21 from AJ. That's his prediction.
And Dylan has the Broncos over the Niners.